Alright, so before we get started into the Champions League, I'm going to make this video before to maybe talk about my glass cannon builds that I like to do with the Champions League. Now, as a very big disclaimer, while I have played Monster Super League for almost 6 years at this point, and I understand the meta, I understand, the team compositions and things like that, I don't bother going hard in the paint, so to speak. I don't give PvP any 2 cents because we've had the same meta for years now. Because again, it's just Monster Super League doesn't get groundbreaking updates to shift this meta, to change Astromon. Yes, we get balances, but generally speaking, the same Astromon in PvP have been there, and the reason why they're there is because they're just that good, and it is what it is. So take my advice here with a grain of salt. Again, I am a very casual, however, I've played long enough and I understand how to get through enough of this PvP stuff to give you guys a sense to say, hey, this is how you can go burn your 10 tickets, and at least get your tickets done and get you somewhere through the league to get your rewards up for gems, because at the end of the day, this is free gems, right? This is literally nothing but taking your time, coming in here and fighting people and getting your free gems. You're also getting league medals to get your gleam on here, so again, you can help progress your account. So to my newer players watching and even my mid-game players, PvP is very important every week, so because of these gleams. So you really should be burning through your 10 tickets, not only in the other league, but in the Champions League when this comes out. This is just more league medals and more, this is free gems. That's how I look at it. So without that, or with all that out of the way, let's go in here and let's actually talk about the Champions League. So this is different than regular PvP. You have technically 3 rounds to go through. You as the attacker only have to win 2 of those. So this is where, when it comes down to the defense, I'm not going to cover my defense in here because it's a joke. It's not serious because, again, I don't take PvP any amount of seriousness. But at the same point, remember these 3 things: crowd control, self-healing off your normal skill, and a healer. Those 3 things are usually king in PvP, okay? If you can not only crowd control, and by crowd control I mean shock, stun, taunt, sap, anything to reduce your opponent's ability to do anything, you're gonna win. That's plain and simple. And so at the end of the day, just remember that. That's how you set up your defense. The more you can screw with the enemy team attacking you, the more chances you have to win, okay? And so the problem with that is the Champions League requires a very hefty defense. We're talking 5, 10, 15 Astromon you have to dedicate to a defense team. So if you're a newer player, don't worry too much about that. You're not going to have the Astromon to really do that anyway. You can't copy Astromon, meaning you can't have, let's say, multiple Water Victorias in a team anyway, so you can't double up on stuff. You can see here my other Water Victoria is crossed out because I already have one. So, but it takes time to build up a team that would be defensible here. But we're not interested in defense because, again, I don't take my defense serious. We're interested in trying to show you how to kind of go through this in an easier fashion. So we're going to start with my bottom round, and I'm going to go up through and I'll explain my teams, and we're going to be swapping some of these guys out, but I want you to understand my thought process. And the reason why we're starting off with my round 3 team is this is my oh shit button. If somehow I win on round 1 but lose on round 2, that means round 3 has to step up. Okay, not too often. It's not going to be too often that I lose on round 1 or round 2 subsequently, but and I have to rely on round 3. But if it happens, this team is built right now to save me in order if that was to happen. And a lot of it too is analyzing the Astromon you're going up against, and I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to lose to round 1. I'm probably not going to lose to round 2. However, in the event I get to this person's round 3, this team is built as like I said, my oh shit button. And starting with my leader, I lead with my Hanahime. Hanahime here is light Hanahime is just I cannot not sing the praises of this Astromon. You know, she's just too damn good as a healer in this game. She's too good. And the only downside to her on her skills is the aggression HP. Smart Study, I want to see them just get rid of the problem with aggression that it falls off, because my Hanahime, as you can see, has almost 160,000 HP. God, it would be awesome if my aggression actually hit off of 160,000 HP. Now, I'm not asking them to make her hit harder than, let's say, my Dark Persephone, but I wish that it could. And this is why, but regardless of my gripes here, she's in the leader slot here because of her discernment, so she's getting rid of the resistance, which I'll explain why this is important in a second. But this is great because it will allow the crowd controlling. But she's also in the lead spot because she'll have her SP up. She's immediately going to give her shield to proportional to her own at max HP. This is a god-like shield. There are very few Astromon in the game that can actually pierce her shield of where I have her built, and this is where I will show you. She has an SP drain set because I want her always having the ability to heal. So as much I just shit on aggression and how bad it is, aggression still hits pretty hard, which coincides with her SP, with this SP drain off these gems. So the gems of Siphon on here are just straight up HP percent. There's nothing else to do here. Is just give her as much HP as possible. Again, she is a tank, so she has base more HP than being a tank. So this is why we pump this full, because not only she's going to heal, but she's also going to put a shield that's godlike. It does synergize with the aggression again, but the aggression is not going to hit hard enough for us to matter. But she's in the slot because she's going to put the shield up and keep everyone basically protected from a lot of bullshit that has come out with a PvP. So going next in line, you know her, you love her. I've talked about her all the time. This is again this Astromon right here will carry you newer players into the mid game, and even your mid game players. This will carry you into the end game. Dark Mona is just the chef's kiss. This is a great Astromon, and always has been, always will be. She has Morale Boost, which gives her 30% of her own SP, and she has Hunter, increases critical hit damage by 30 to 40% here because I have her fully booked. She's just going to hit, like, she's my attacker. She's just going to hit. Now, again, she has Gems of Siphon as well, attack percent, and a crit rate gem. For her statistics, we can't see her crit rate in here, but rocking just around 9,500 attack is pretty decent with her. Again, she's going to be our main source of killing stuff in this last round, which is great. Now, with that said, she has her battle buddy is what I will call this, and that is Dark Shelly. Dark Shelly is in here 100% for the reason of defense down at 100% chance. Now, a reason why I talked about discernment, going back to Light Hanahime, is this is to kind of guarantee that Shelly gets this defense down off his normal attack. I don't care about Shelly in any other capacity in this team. This is basically for the Wombo combo. So normally what my round 3 starts off with, Hanahime putting her shield up, making everybody basically invincible to an attack. I evaluate the most threatening Astromon on the team, I put defense down, and normally Mona will kill it. And that's that, generally speaking. Okay? The reason why you see Fire Mona in this team, though, okay, so is for a very important reason. So just like in the SP season in the normal league, in here we have the same problem. Whatever we decide to one-shot here, and again, we're not going to get down to this to show it, but you get down here and you actually, let's say I knock out this Wood Persephone and something else comes up from behind, right? They're going to have full SP. This is where you want to take advantage of Astromon like Fire Mona who have the SP Siphon. This will siphon 30% of their SP, thus negating them using their active skill at all. And that is what is the greatest thing about this. And you can see that for every single tier, I am running an Astromon that has SP Siphon. So, Light Verde, again, 4-star Rebirth Astromon. I cannot recommend this Astromon enough. It is a free one to get that will have SP Siphon that you will use in the normal league and in here for one of your tiers, guaranteed. You also have Dark Yuki is another great example, and these three guys are all tanky, meaning you just throw some survivability on them in the sense of HP. You can clearly see how much HP she's got, full Gem of Life set on her, and she's gonna take a hit. And that's when the great thing about Fire Mona here is, generally speaking, you're going to be dealing with Light and Dark Astromon, and, well, Fire's not weak to any of those, so they're going to just be doing normal damage, right? The issue that comes down between these two is you have that problem. You have Light Astromon are usually looked at in here and used, so these two are a little bit more vulnerable, but again, they're not, it's not necessarily too much to worry about. However, again, going against good defensive teams with players who have crowd control Astromon, yeah, even this can get spicy for me. Again, I'm not a god at this, right? So at the end of the day, it's something to keep in mind. But regardless, that is what my last resort team is. Now, my Dark Mona could be swapped out for a better attacker. At this point, I have a lot of other Astromon that can fill this role. Again, this is just general thoughts and advice for Astromon that you might want to be able to throw in your team. Like, for instance, for crying out loud, I think Dark Midsummer Miho could be a good choice just because of her proportional to attack defense. I mean, she's still a good attacker if I actually put decent gems on her. So there are plenty of Astromon that fit the bill that can replace Dark Mona in this slot. Again, even my Drakkar could go in this slot, etc., etc. I could spend 2 hours sitting here talking about theory crafting and getting into every single Astromon and what's the pros and cons, but it's really going to come down to the teams that you are fighting. Thus why you have several things to save over here to swap things in and out. But regardless, like I said, my last resort team, that's my thought process behind it. Generally for now, as a quick fire between rounds 1 and 2, these are just kill them as fast as possible. I have my three of my hardest hitting Astromon here. 2 of them are paired up down here. And that's all it is. So my Dark Persephone, it does not need to be introduced. That's what she is. She is in here with her attack power as it is. She could be better with better substats, but again, crit rate, attack percent, and you just decimate an entire team. Like, this mini Sarah's not living that attack. This Water Valkyrie's probably not living that attack. This Fire Valkyrie, however, is probably going to live the attack, and depending on the gems on this Light Valkyrie and this one, she might live. But the 2 main threats of this middle team is actually gone. And again, these are not threats to me. I think what you can do, yeah, you have a chance to stun, but again, I'm not worried about that. And think about this. I'm talking about literally only one of my Astromon attacking so far, right? I haven't even gone into why I have these other 3, right? So just off of this, I know I'm going to be devastating this team. So moving on with that, so Light Yuki is in here just as the same reason why you see in here. And again, I mentioned it before, crowd control, man. That's it. All you want is crowd control hell. The more you can crowd control, the better you are off, okay? And for that, she's running Gem of the Pugilist. I don't give this gem set too much credit because a 20% chance to stun is pretty damn low. However, as you guys have clearly seen on all my dailies, for whatever reason, I have an 80% chance to shock here, and yet my gems get the 20% stun. I don't understand how I am that bad at Monster Super League that my Yuki fails at 80% shock, but yet she'll get the 20% shock off the Gem of the Pugilist. It's just, it baffles my mind. And no, this 20% does not add on to this shock. Stun and shock are 2 different abilities in the game. So This is its own stun, and this is its own stun. So the way you can look at this is I have either an 80% chance to shock them, or I have a 20% chance to stun them. It's one or the other. And so Yuki is only on here to literally get rid of something that I am afraid of. So if I need to shut down an Astromon, that's what Yuki is here for. She's also an attacker. And again, I'm going to tap through these really quickly. That's not it. Again, she's an attacker, man. Attack percent, and crit rate are your gems of choice. 10,000 attack is not a thing to scoff at this little gem. So moving on here, I will talk about Verde before I talk about Cherry. But Verde is just quickly, again, the reason why she's in here is the SP Siphon. That's it. Go get her. I've said this every single time when I have recorded for Monster Super League. Get this Astromon for SP Siphon. She is a good one. And again, Adrenaline here it can be a good heal for you, but generally speaking, you're going to just be using her to attack, and you're going to ignore everything else. Again, being a tank, she doesn't even have good gems on her. Like, look at this. She's kind of got a roundabout. So I have a 5-star for 57, but I should replace this. But 101,000 health is good enough to tank through it. Now let's talk about the superstar on this team, and that is good old Cherry Ann. This Astromon is on par with my light Hanahime. When Cherry comes back for a capture festival, please go capture this and get this Astromon. This is another damn good healer in the game, and it comes down to her kit. She has a very good kit. Adrenaline off of her normal skill just heals, man. 10% of your own max HP. Well, 10% of this is over 10,000 HP healed. I'll take it. She is on par with a Water Persephone with this, okay? And what makes her shine, in my opinion, a little bit is also the fact that she has shield with a heal. So she's not only going to heal you, she's also going to put up another shield for her own max HP, which is exactly like light Hanahime, only this is a wood version. Just all around a good Astromon. Now, I'm not running an HP set on her because I wanted to have her more defensively so that she could take a hit. So we have the Gems of Protection for the 20% on defense, but as you can see, we are just pumping her full of HP just because we want her to live. And she holds this middle team together. She really does. And you'll see her in the battles going up on there. So round 2 is basically the Glass Cannon second build. Round 1 is pretty much the same thing. We've got, you want a strong, usually I would like a strong attacker up in the front. That's why I have my Dark Fenrir. Dark Fenrir is, again, rocking almost 11,000 on here, but she's got Stalker, which already gets her crit rate high enough, but we get guaranteed crit rate here with this gem, and 2 attack percent gems push her over this. So not only is she guaranteed to critically strike, she also has the attack power to back it up. And so she's going to do a dent. She's not going to kill stuff, but she's still going to do a dent into this first team. Now, one of the changes I am going to make here is it is time to retire my Water Victoria. I love this Astromon. You guys should build this one until you have your Water Valkyrie, Evo 3, gemmed, ascended, all that good jazz, and maybe even Ultimate Evolve. But Water Victoria here is on the team basically for the defense down. Defense down is the same reason why we have it down here with Shelly. Shelly gives the guaranteed 100% defense down. Thus, my Dark Mona is going to shred. And for you early game players, getting a Water Victoria up is amazing. If we get defense down, look at that attack. Almost over 11,000 attack. Defense down on top of hitting something like this, she's just going to destroy it. And that's why she's been on the team for a long time. The reason why she's being retired on this video out of this, because we finally have what I just said. I finally have a Water Valkyrie fully evoed and ultimate evolved, and that she unfortunately is going to be better than my Water Victoria. Predator it is what it is, just 50% more damage done. But here's why. Guaranteed defense down with her active skill. Just guaranteed defense down when I need it. So in theory, what I can do here is pop her in there like so, and it doesn't matter now what I put in the other side. So if we come over here and we could put again Dark Fenrir in here. This wombo combo of being able to not only put defense down right off the bat and then going and shredding with little Fenrir here, you're looking at a really, really strong combo. All right, sorry, I had to sneeze. But so yes, this combo right here is devastating. So again, this is where you could swap in on here, but generally speaking, this should be on here. Now, this is a theory. I don't know how well Water Valkyrie is going to work out here. Again, it's going to work out pretty well because we have 2 fire, but this is where, again, Light and Dark Astromon, in my opinion, have a little bit more power, because then you're not having to swap out. Let's say there's an entire wood team. Like, again, if I get defense down on this wood Valkyrie, that's great, but she's not going to do any damage to this, and she's also going to be a target of this wood Valkyrie for battle rush and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind of why I put so much weight on Light and Dark Astromon. It's because generally when you're fighting all this other garbage, it's neutral damage to them. So you just do neutral damage back, but I usually have the firepower to back that up. So that kind of gets those introductions out of the way on that. This is where it comes down to, I could put in a third attacker just to go gung-ho, but I've decided to put a Meta Astromon in here, and the reason why this Meta Astromon is in here from PvP is because of that. She's just that good. Fire Victoria is just, I have no words as you hear me stumble over myself. This Fearless Taunt is ridiculous. You crowd control somebody and they take less damage. Just done. GG, done, over with. Now, I need to actually regem her, if I'm being honest, and do full defense and maybe some HP. So this set needs to actually get taken off. I also want to put better trinkets on her for PvP, because we could definitely pump out some more HP and maybe a defense on her, and she would be even more disgusting. We don't need the SP drain because, yes, the petrification is nice. However, petrified can't act, but they have defense, so it really comes down to, this is a pain in the butt to deal with when you're trying to kill something. So I don't put very much weight on the petrification. Again, it is crowd control at a 90% chance. I get that, but at the same time, you really want her for her taunt. Taunting the enemy for 2 turns and being able to do this in 2 subsequent turns, it's too good. It's just too damn good. And again, Drakkar is another example, because I'm looking at her, would be good to swap in. But again, there's just too many teams you'll run into will have water, and so you'll kind of be shit out of luck with doing Drakkar. Because I could put Drakkar on this first thing here, but she doesn't help me kill this team any faster. Yes, she does the damage, but Valkyrie will have infinitely more value to me than putting Drakkar on a team. And that's why you don't see me using her, is just because I don't have to. I mean, again, I could put her down here for in replacing Dark Mona as well. I could do that. But like I said, what happens if the whole team is water or something? Like, we just have water Astromon down here. This Drakkar is dead. You guys see me in PvP all the time laugh when we see a Drakkar come out. I'm like, it's just dead, and I kill it. It's one-shotted. So to me, Drakkar has very little value when it comes to PvP in certain aspects. As an attacker, as long as you're controlling, but from a defensive standpoint, this Astromon in my book is useless. Just because, again, it's so easy to kill it. It's hilarious. So, and the last Astromon we want to talk about here with this is my SP Siphon Astromon up top, which is my Dark. There she is. Yuki. Dark Yuki is up here only for SP Siphon. That's all I care about. She's, again, to prevent whatever comes out. Does not get their special off. Now, she again could use better trinkets, but she's rocking pretty good set of resistance gems, and this is all resist set is for to resist any type of crowd control. We're talking taunt, saps, stuns, shocks, you name it, that's why we're running it. Again, her gems HP and HP, but then a defense because we want her to take a little bit more of a hit. And as you can see, not bad having 107,000 HP. The little bit of defense, believe it or not, does help. However, her gem or her trinkets suck. I need to update her trinkets, but other than that, she holds her own in this first round. So. And yeah, that's my general, again, talking about every, going through my thought process on my glass cannon. This is definitely just my thought process. This team is fluid. Remember, if you do have all the Astromon, and you have a lot of the meta Astromon, definitely can be swapping in and out. Again, I do have another meta here. I do have Water Persephone to get in here, which could do Adrenaline. She's got the Petrification, so I could probably swap her in as well somewhere along the lines, and it would be just fine as well. But again, this is a solid team to go with anyway. So I'm going to leave that off there. Hopefully you found that helpful. Just as some general advice on here. Again, newer players, and even mid-game players, you're not going to have the robust Astromon list that I have, and even I don't have a lot because I don't even have 5 stars. But that's kind of why I'm doing this, is I'm kind of showing you is out of all these Astromon you see in here, I'm literally only using what? That's 2. I'm using 2 5-star Astromon. Every other Astromon in here is available through the game in some other fashion that's generally free to play for you guys. And I don't pride myself on that, but I think that's pretty damn good as far how far I can get with this team, and only 2 of them are 5-star Astromon, Nat 5. So regardless, I'm out. I'm going to go get to recording this battle, so I will see you guys in the Champion Leagues matches. Thanks for watching.